Coming at you from my vape room winter garden, I'm Marino the Vape God, and today we're going to talk about a little more cool vape stuff. So a setup of mine that I acquired a couple years ago and have loved ever since I got it is this dude right here. Alright, I call it the Sultan. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm going to just tell you some neat stuff about what little I do know about it. So it's a 75 watt single battery device. It runs a clone of the DNA chip going on in here, just based off of the style that it was in. It's very similar to DNAs of its time, which has evolved considerably over the years here. So the mod itself, when I bought it, it didn't really have a name. It rocks a very small logo here. It's a VM, and from what I learned, it was called a VAPEGOD, which I would imagine was pronounced vape mod, VAPEMOD. And I'm like, all right, pretty nondescript, but it's super cool. It's got this pleather thing going on, which has held up beautifully over the years. Absolutely awesome. Really smooth, sleek buttons. The battery has the screw-on end of it, which isn't so much of a thing anymore. Not too many people are doing this, which is nice because honestly, they're garbage. You got your USB port. It had like USB charging and stuff, but this was still when charging your mod's USB was really sketchy. So a neat thing you'll notice is they do these in some of them, but there's a cut on the bottom of this, and the whole idea was that you would use a quarter or your thumbnail or a screwdriver to open it, but they also used to come with little plastic coins that were specifically for opening this type of battery door. But like I said, they suck because it takes too darn long to get them open for anything. So they was all kind of thrown by the wayside. So another neat thing about this setup is the tank with it is actually made by the same company, VAPEGOD, VapeMod. We're just going to call it VapeMod, okay? So VapeMod made this tank. It's called the X-Tank 4.0. I've never seen the 3.0, the 2.0, or the 1.0, but the 4.0 is pretty cool. All right, so it's a 10 milliliter tank. This particular version of it is an RTA. There was one out there made by same company and everything that ran off of pre-built Atlantis platform coils, and that guy was, I think it was called the Revolver, which it was pretty cool. It literally looked the exact same, but just Atlantis coils in there. A neat thing about this is that since this tank is so massive, it actually spins freely, separately from the 510. And this is so that no matter how it threads into your mod, it would be able to be adjusted to look normal on it instead of, hanging off sideways or something. And I mean, if you really want to call that normal, but at least it looks put together. So I always like that this is all from the same manufacturer. This drip tip right here is something that we call a space needle. You really don't see these guys at all anymore because it's just not in the style whatsoever. But long drip tips are nice because they have a way of kind of cooling off and concentrating the vape by the time it gets to your mouth. So you get, you get a tighter draw on it. It definitely dulls the flavor a little bit, but it cools it off considerably, which is pretty awesome. And depending on your type of flavor, it may help nuances of the flavor. I'm not going to lie, there's a reason we don't use these super long drip tips anymore, and it's just because they're not that awesome, but they make you feel awesome. Check this thing out. Man, I feel like a Saudi Arabian prince vaping on this thing. This thing is so freaking cool. So, fun thing about this company, VapeMod, I looked it up trying to see if I could still find these guys out and about, but the only thing I found is what VapeMod has been making recently, and it's something that you guys might recognize out there. I know we sold a ton of them here and they were very popular, but it's the same company that make these little cartridge running iPod Shuffle looking dudes. Who would have thought that they've come from this and then just suddenly drop back into the modern scene pulling these guys? Now I will say I'm not 100% certain that this is the relation here, but from my Google foo skills I have found VaPeGod makes these, and that's what's on this device. So I'm drawing some pretty easy conclusions here. If you know otherwise, let me know. I would love to hear about it. We all educating each other here. But yeah, this guy's cool. It's got a very small quad post build deck on the inside of it. I mean, like, we're talking microscopic. You can't build a coil over 2 millimeters in diameter, or else it's just going to touch the walls of it. And it's, I mean, the posts are super duper small. Is pretty tough to build on, and is very tough to wick. And ultimately, it's just not the greatest tank in the world, but it looks neat. One other cool thing is the way you're supposed to fill it up is, you see how it's got this big old screw here? Well, you would take that coin thing that you're using for the bottom of here, reapply it to this, so that you could unscrew that, turn the whole tank over, and then fill it up. And it's hard to see, but in the center of this, there's a tube going down the second half of this, and there's a hole coming out of it, so that you would put your juice down in here and it would go and fill up the rest of the chamber. That's pretty cool. Or you could just unscrew the top of it right above where the RTA is and just pour your stuff in there to the exact same effect with half of the work. So I don't know if they did that to give you options or just because they didn't really know what they were doing, but who cares, because it works. So yeah, this guy's the Sultan. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Have you ever been into the long skinny drip tips? I've been a fan for a while. Let me know. Let's talk. Later.